Batteries fully charged. Launch ready for WWE Aftershock in 3, 2, 1. World Wrestling Entertainment Discussion is live. You host Owen Finch.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to week 15 of WWE Aftershock. I'm Owen the Birdman Finch, and I'm here with
Chris.
And we have an exciting week to talk about in professional wrestling. A lot of things happened this week, so we're just going to get right into it. We're going to start by reviewing Raw, and I'm actually doing the Raw notes this week because Chris wants to do NXT this week because he's got some things he wants to say about NXT, so that's why I'm doing Raw this week. Let's talk about Raw notes. Raw took place on April 10th, 2023, and we had Kevin Patrick and Corey Graves on commentary. They did really well on commentary. Obviously, they've been on commentary since like the season premiere episode of Raw last year. Well, Corey's been there anyways since like right after WrestleMania, like 31 or whatever. But not 31, WrestleMania 37. And Kevin Patrick's been there since the season premiere, so they've been doing really well together on commentary. And this was fairly notable because we were obviously hoping for like a great Raw after the shit show that was the Raw after WrestleMania 39. But we still got a better Raw. Any Raw this year would have been better than that Raw. But
better.
What ended up happening was there was some travel issues this week with certain wrestlers. So they ended up having to actually rewrite the show pretty much the day of. Obviously, it wasn't being rewritten like during the show or anything like that. There's obviously, I think, one segment obviously that was written during the show, which is probably the thing that happens at the end because obviously they were actually able to get there and stuff. But they had to basically rewrite this show. And a lot of people probably I think this time they had to tell you we had some travel issues because I don't think they wanted people thinking Vince rewrote last week's show so often. I think they just basically told us it was travel issues just so that way a lot of people didn't think that Vince was changing the show. So you do have to be a little bit forgiving of this show this week just because they basically had to rewrite the show pretty much the day of with these travel issues. They did talk about it. It's pretty obvious why these travel issues happened, but everyone needs Dave Meltzer to tell them why. They can't just come up with this conclusion themselves because this was the day after Easter. Obviously, travel after a holidays is hell. So that's why this happened. I liked it when Dave Meltzer explains on his show too. He explains how travel works. Like a lot of people need Meltzer to tell them how travel works. It's hilarious. Yeah. Like people just need to get common sense nowadays. Like it's obvious why the travel issues were hellacious. The second Corey Graves told us, I'm like, oh, it's the day after Easter. It's obvious why travel was hellacious. But they need Meltzer to tell them why, though. They can't just come up with it themselves. I bet you knew why, Chris. You didn't need Meltzer to tell you why travel.
Oh yeah, I need him to tell me everything.
I bet you needed to tell you like why a certain match happens. But yeah, various matches were called off the show. One of them though wasn't travel issues, and that was Matt Riddle versus The Miz. I mean, it was kind of travel issues because Matt Riddle couldn't get there, but that match wasn't. They said that match wasn't going to happen anyways, whether they were both able to be there or not. The reason I came up with is because that was the Vince rewrite. He had Matt Riddle return and attack The Miz, and I don't think Triple H had any interest in that, so he just called that match off. Which you can't blame Triple H for that because that didn't even make any sense anyways. So
it really didn't.
So I'm glad. So that's why I think that match was called off, but. Let's go through Raw. It kicked off with Rey Mysterio coming out to cut a promo. And he basically talked about what his week's been like after WrestleMania and everything like that. He talked about how he felt bad about what happened with Bad Bunny, that he got attacked and laid out. But he said that we haven't seen the last of Bad Bunny, which obviously we haven't because he has to come host Backlash pretty soon. So we obviously haven't seen the last of Bad Bunny. And Dominic Mysterio interrupts him, and he has a famous botch here, which I'm pretty sure because Rey Mysterio mentions his son's name, and Dominic Mysterio accidentally tells Rey Mysterio he meant to say "keep my name out of your mouth," but I think he accidentally said "keep his name out of my mouth." Like it was a really hilarious botch.
It was keep your name out of my mouth. Sticks his nose out of the Judgment Day's business.
It was hilarious. Like it was a. I mean, he does save it a little bit, but it was just a really hilarious botch. So Rey Mysterio.
I just kept saying that the rest of the night. Like I was like, keep your nose, keep your mouth out of my business.
It was hilarious. It was great. And I feel like this is kind of a botch that kind of worked in favor of the promo because Dominic Mysterio is meant to be just kind of like a dork and stuff anyways in these promos, so it ended up kind of working out for him. He does save it by saying, like, you guys messed me up here. Like, that time. He blamed the crowd that he brought this promo. Like, yeah, don't blame the crowd, John. That was all your fault, buddy. Like,
came out, like, right away. I was like, what the fuck did you just say?
It was awesome. So then Rey Mysterio challenges his son to a WrestleMania rematch. But Dominic Mysterio says that he doesn't want to fight his father because he's not that type of guy that would fight his father. He's not like a deadbeat dad like he is. But he says he has someone that will perfectly fight him. I assume this was meant to be Damian Priest because it didn't really make sense that Damian Priest wasn't there. But I feel like he was a part of the travel issues. So they had Finn Balor come out there instead. And let's just talk about how much of a trooper Finn Balor is because the dude has like 14 staples in his head. And he had like a leg injury like right before this match. And the dude's fucking out there.
Grade 2 calf tear, I think is what it is.
Yeah, what a trooper Finn Balor is. What a nice guy. Like, I mean, he hasn't been acting like a nice guy, but like what a tough guy he is. Really, really big tough guy right there.
Awesome.
And it's not like this match was short too. They went all out for this match. It was very good. Balor takes a lot of really horrific bumps in this match that like I think anybody else would have like died from. But eventually, Dominic Mysterio tries to interfere. He fails the first time. Rey Mysterio is able to fight him off, but eventually he ends up wrapping a chain around his fist, and he hits Rey with it, and this allows Finn Balor to hit the not the 1916, but the coup de grace on him for the win. And obviously this made sense because this was what he tried to do at WrestleMania, but it didn't work. Finn Balor needed this win because he needed a big win after losing to Edge at WrestleMania and things like that. So. And, it didn't make Rey look too bad here because he was cheated out of the win by his son. So this was very good stuff. I really enjoyed this. Obviously, this is like 2 thumbs up because of Dominic's botch here. It was hilarious. It was awesome. You really got to see this botch. I assume you can find it online somewhere. It's awesome. What did you think of this, though?
It wasn't bad. I didn't mind it. The botch was the best part.
It was. It's awesome. Next, so during this match, by the way, they mentioned that something would happen with the women's tag title match where that was changed. Apparently, it was a storyline. I don't know why they said that, though, because they legitimately just said in the beginning of the show that it was because of travel issues. So I just thought it was travel issues. I didn't know they were going to do a storyline with it. Apparently, Alpha Academy were being interviewed, and Maxine Dupree got Otis a brand new jacket. And Chad Gable and Maxine Dupree are fighting over Otis now. And during this, we hear commotion going on like behind Kathy Kelly. And she goes to investigate. And we find out that lead has been laid out backstage. And we see that Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan are there. So Becky Lynch is there, and she thinks that it was Raquel and Liv that did this. Which honestly, it made sense that she thought this, considering the fact that they would challenge it for the belts later on. And basically that was it. It was questionable whether or not the women's tag title match was going to happen. So we'll talk more about that later. Then Becky Lynch got interviewed, and she talked about how she found a partner that was gonna step up and team with her, and it ended up being Trish Stratus. So you knew what was about to happen here. And then it showed a video package for Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins, I don't know why he went there because I I don't know if he was really part of the travel issues because you would assume that Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins travel together, and Seth Rollins actually wasn't there. But I'm not really sure what happened with Seth there. Maybe he had a house show, but I don't think they had house shows over the Easter weekend because obviously they typically don't try to do house shows on the weekends. So I'm not really sure why Seth wasn't there. Obviously, as you heard the reports, there's been reports that Seth is very unhappy about his position with the company at the moment. Apparently, this stuff between him and Cody, they're saying have like legitimately heat backstage because Cody told the story. I think it was like WrestleMania week where he got into it with Seth Rollins, and it sounds like it's legit. I don't think I think Seth's just unhappy with the spot. I don't think he's necessarily going to like leave the company or anything like that. I don't think WWE would like allow him to leave the company. But I think there is some frustrations that he has about what's going on, obviously, which is fair. But I don't think he's necessarily going to leave the company or anything like that. What about you? What do you think of these segments here and the Seth Rollins story that's been going around last week?
It just, I don't think there's anything to it with Seth. I don't think he's not leaving the company. He's not doing any of that shit. Could he be frustrated? Yeah, I'd be frustrated too if my segment got fucking cut short.
Yes.
Especially after all the years and mileage he's put on his body, to have this hip segment be cut short is that's like an injustice to him. It's not fair to him. Do I believe the stuff with Cody? I don't know. I don't believe that. I think that was all just storyline talk. But yeah, whatever. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, the next match was the women's tag title match. It was Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus defending the belts against Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan. Very good tag title match here. Both teams really went back and forth with each other. Eventually, Trish gets tagged in and she gets rolled up by Liv, and they end up losing the tag team titles, which is cool because it was cool that Trish took the loss here. And I thought this was the best situation because we talked about this before. That they had to find a way to get the belts off of Lita and Becky without hurting their star power. And I thought this was the best way they could have gone about it because Becky and Trish aren't really a team full-time anyways. They had to kind of go in there in a rush, and they got rolled up and lost. I assume that this, honestly, I say this, but obviously if you remember, Vince rewrote last week's show, so this kind of happened because of Vince in a sense. But if Carmella was able to be active, it would have been Carmella and Chelsea Green winning the tag titles. And obviously if Wanda was able to go, it would have been like Wanda. Shayna maybe here, but obviously this is the best tag team that they had that could have beat them for the belts. And they needed to get Liv and Raquel doing something because they've been haven't really been doing all that much as of recently, and they kind of needed to get something going, some momentum going on their side again. So I was totally fine with this, but the match was very good. I really enjoyed it. Eventually after this, Becky and Trish hug, and Trish attacks Becky from behind, hits the chick kick on her, and turns heel on Becky Lynch here. I liked the heel turn. The thing that sucked about it, this is why dirt sheets suck, because they basically reported this, and because of the dirt sheets, you knew that Trish was turning here. It would have been a little bit more of a surprise, I think, had the dirt sheets not reported it for like months. But, this is why dirt sheets suck in wrestling, because they have to ruin every storyline that could have been a surprise. This could have been a huge surprise here that Trish was going to turn heel, but the dirt sheets ruined it. So, what did you think of this?
I don't know. We knew what's happening. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just not a fan of it because the match is not going to happen until SummerSlam in August. Fucking April. She's not going to be on TV for a while. She's going to be on TV tonight, but they can do what are they going to do? I don't know. That's the thing. That's like I would have pulled the trigger on it, but not this far out in advance.
I mean, maybe they're gonna do something with it. Maybe they'll do something where Trish, hires people to take out Becky Lynch and things like that, where Becky has to like go through the roster or something. I don't think Becky will be there this week, obviously. So that kind of adds some time. So I am pretty interested in it. I am interested to see how long they go it because it'll be a nice storyline they can tell. I do want to see Trish as a heel too because she's we haven't seen her as a heel since probably I think since 05 maybe because I think she turned in 05 when Mickey.
It was she turned on Jericho in 04.
And then she turned face in 05. I remember. Like, it was like a natural face turn. I think she was just so over, they had to turn her face pretty much.
Yeah.
So, I am interested in it. And it'll be kind of cool. Obviously, I think the big question is, will it work? Because a lot of people like Trish. The comparison they made is when Edge turned last year. I think Trish will be better because Becky, a lot of people like Becky. And the reason why Edge's turn didn't work last year is because everyone liked Edge. And Edge had, the thing where he had his neck broken. So anytime he took a bump, everyone was naturally going to like him anyways because they thought it'd be like the end of his career type of thing. It was tough to turn Edge heel. I know they could say what they did it with. I know they could say they did it with Bryan just fine. But Bryan was like really good as a heel. And he was saying, and I think Bryan had an easier transition because he was going up against like most baby faces, like a lot of the fans like. I know Edge went up against a lot of the faces that fans like, but Edge's turn just really didn't work. It just really didn't work. I think, too, because if you remember, too, the pandemic had pretty much... I mean, even though the pandemic was over for a while, like, a lot of fans hadn't seen Edge live because, like, most of the time he'd been back was during the pandemic at that point. So that's why it also didn't work. So, I actually think Trish's heel turn could work if done properly. Obviously, she was the one that attacked Lita. I don't think they'll do Trish versus Lita, but I could see like Trish teaming with another heel, maybe against like Lita and Becky at maybe Backlash, or maybe they'll do it at like Night of Champions, which we'll talk about that later. But yeah, so we'll see what happens. I mean, I want to see what I want to see what they do with this. So then we had
it could be interesting.
Yeah, they definitely could. Then Paul Heyman gets interviewed. He cuts this really good interview talking about because Solo Sikoa was going to face Kevin Owens on the show. And obviously Sami Zayn and Matt Riddle weren't able to be there because they had travel issues. And Paul Heyman basically said that Sami and Matt Riddle are using the travel issues as an excuse so they don't have to go up against the Bloodline. He talks about how they're going to finally solve the Kevin Owens problem tonight because Kevin Owens was coming into this match injured. So really good interview there. Byron Saxton tries to interview Trish Stratus and get an explanation of why Trish did what she did, but she basically ignores him, just completely walks away.
Mean.
I know Byron Saxton's just trying to get the scoop, and she completely ignores him. Like, what are you doing? Like, what did Byron Saxton ever do to you? Like, and Byron Saxton was completely speechless when he couldn't get an answer. He didn't even try anymore. Like, once she walked away, he's like, okay, I guess we're not going to get an answer. Like, what a great journalist. He didn't even really try there. Like, he just was like, okay, I guess we're not going to get an answer there. Like, what are you doing, Byron? This is what you're paid to do, and you didn't even try. Like, oh, Byron, what are you doing, man?
He needs to figure it out.
I know, I guess so. And then Dakota Kai's backstage. Bailey was in talking with Adam Pearce, and he really couldn't get much of an answer out of her because she couldn't get much of an answer out of him. Sorry, I got the genders mixed up somehow. Apparently, I thought Adam Pearce was a woman and Bailey was a man. I don't know what happened. And that does happen sometimes. So, but Bailey was trying to get like a title match for herself. But all Adam Pearce wanted to talk about was the draft because the draft's coming up. But Bailey said, huh?
How fucking dare he?
I know. That's all he wanted to talk about, apparently, too. He didn't want to talk about anything else. He just wanted to talk about the draft. Like, yeah, the draft's coming up, baby. he was like so. I guess he was pretty excited about the draft coming up, even though he's gonna run both shows anyway. So I don't understand why he's excited about it. He's gotta like I don't know. Maybe he's excited he won't have to deal with certain people. You know, he only have to deal with certain people like once a week or something like that. Maybe that's why he's so excited about. Like, yeah, like I bet he's really looking forward to not having to deal with Chelsea Green as often as he has. Like, but he's got a cell phone anyways. He's gonna have to deal with most of these people. I don't know why Adam Pearce
with all these people, Chelsea Green included. I don't think Chelsea's gonna allow him to be by himself.
Yeah, like I don't understand why Adam. He was like excited about this draft. Like he wouldn't stop talking to Bailey about this draft. Maybe he just didn't want to talk to Bailey about anything else. Bailey does say he was able to convince him eventually to add her to a triple threat match where the winner was going to be number one contender for the Raw Women's title. And Damage Control aren't happy about this because they feel like they should have an opportunity because Bailey. They kind of throw shade. Bailey's failed enough as it is, and Bailey's like, "Okay, I'll go talk to Adam Pearce and see if I can get one of you." And she acted like she didn't want to talk to him. The commentators were trying to say because Bailey was being selfish, but I just think Bailey didn't want to hear Adam Pearce talk about the draft anymore. I think that's why she didn't want to go in there. Like I don't blame her. Like he was probably going to talk about the draft again. Like I wouldn't blame her. But anyhow, no, this was good here. A good way to set up the breakup of Damage Control. I just feel bad for Bailey because she had to go hear Adam Pearce talk about the draft twice. It's like I feel bad for you. Like, what do you think of these three segments?
You're unimportant. The draft is far more important than you are.
Yeah. What do you think of these three segments right here with Byron Saxton failing at journalism, Paul Heyman having a great promo, and Bailey having to hear about the draft being talked about twice? What do you think of these?
Poor Bailey.
I know.
Poor her. Although Damage Control is definitely getting broken up.
That's Shawn Michaels.
So
that's
funny.
Shawn Michaels taking over right there. I want to Shawn Michaels try to like weasel his way in to break up every tag team on the main roster. You know, it's like
fucking good.
It sounds like that's what's gonna.
That's like wishing the boogeyman to come.
Yeah. I don't think you mean the boogeyman I think you're talking about. So,
but if he's the boogeyman, he's coming to get you.
Yep. Shawn Michaels is coming to get every tag team. He's like, yeah, you're getting broken up. You're getting Alpha Academy. You're getting broken up. He's teasing the bloodline splitting up. Like maybe Shawn Michaels is taking over some of the booking a little bit because he's trying to break up every tag team on the main roster now. He's like, I feel like because he has no tag teams really left to break up in NXT. He's like, shit, I don't have any tag teams left to break.
Fuck, I got to break up every tag team on the main roster now.
Pretty soon I feel like Shawn Michaels is the one that injured Kofi's ankle because I think he's like, well, I don't think there's anything I can do to really break up the New Day. So he did some. They're trying to say I think Kofi really didn't get injured in the segment we thought he did. I think Shawn Michaels took out Kofi so that way he could break the New Day up at least for a little while.
Because fuck tag teams. Because I had a tag team partner once and I turned on him. So now every fucking tag team can't be a happy tag team. They got to be turned on all the time.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about
it, that way too.
Yeah,
not turned on by each other. They be turned on and beaten up.
Well, Shawn Michaels is getting turned on by breaking up all these tag teams. So,
someone had to check that.
But
a little stiffy.
Yeah. But anyhow, then the next match was Bobby Lashley versus Bronson Reed. This was supposed to be Bobby Lashley versus Austin Theory, but Austin Theory obviously couldn't get there because he had travel issues. I feel like Austin Theory, I think was just
it's Vince taking over.
I feel like Austin Theory was just afraid though to go face Bobby Lashley because Bobby Lashley would have destroyed him because we've seen him do it in the past. So,
he would have murdered him.
He probably would have, but yeah, this match was really good. I'm a bit more forgiving to this match because Bronson Reed, before this match, the week before, had the flu. So the fact that this match was good as it was, you have to give it a 3. If we did star ratings for Raws, you would have to give it a 3.5 star rating because of the fact that Bronson Reed just had the flu. I hope Bobby Lashley's okay because if the guy just had the flu, I don't know if he's still contagious. I assume he was obviously able to wrestle, but I bet Bobby Lashley went backstage and sneezed. Was like, "Oh shit, I think I got the flu now." He was probably all scared. He was probably all scared after that. I don't blame him. I would have been scared too, especially since I noticed everyone that goes up to wrestle Lashley lately has some health issue. Bray Wyatt got a health issue, and then
quote unquote.
Bronson Reed. Yeah, and then Bronson Reed now has like a health issue, so I don't know what's going on. Maybe does Bobby Lashley have some type of sickness that he travels with him that he doesn't even know about? Huh?
He's got a hex.
Guess so. Eventually the match just ends in a double count out. I didn't like the finish too much. I thought they could have, obviously written a smarter finish, but
it protects both of them.
Yeah, it worked. And then eventually they all brawl around and it has to get broken up. Hopefully no one caught the flu there, but we'll find out. I say what because a lot of people can break up this fight, and then he tweets that I was just fighting the flu. I bet all the wrestlers who read that tweet like, shit, he had the flu. And we were just because they weren't even that far away from him. They had to
poor guys,
poor wrestlers, poor Bobby Lashley. He's got a hex on him now. It's just like, what's going on here? But yeah, this was really good stuff. I liked it. I'm really proud of Bronson Reed for having a good match, even though he just had the flu. So really good stuff here, huh?
He's a good boy.
He's a very good boy. What did you think of this, though? Now that you know that Bronson Reed had the flu and everything. Well, he didn't. I make it sound like he had the flu while he was. He just came off. He just came off fighting the flu.
He just had it in the match.
Yeah,
coughing and sneezing and he and fucking Bobby Lashley and rubbing all over him.
He would have been the new Bash and Booger right there too. Like,
but I really did like this match. The finish protects both the guys because
yes,
this match wasn't supposed to happen, and we got a really good, big meaty, big beefy boy brawl for on free TV.
Yes,
and it actually worked out pretty well. It protected both guys with the finish.
It did.
Neither guy can really afford a loss at this point, so a double count out made all the sense in the world. I liked it.
It did. Let's hope though Bobby Lashley was protected even though let's hope he doesn't have. I don't think he has the flu though. We would have heard about it by now. We should say some unfortunate news though. Nothing flu related about Bobby Lashley as they've put the kibosh on putting the Hurt Business back together. Pretty much what happened is they're just not doing it now, which I think is a mistake. I really was kind of into that faction, getting back together. I don't know why they've done it. They've stopped it. They just aren't doing it anymore, but it does kind of make sense because they've stopped teasing it on Raw. And on main event these past couple of weeks when Cedric and Shelton have wrestled, MVP stopped coming out with them. So it really is a shame because I really think they could have benefited from putting the Hurt Business back together.
Well, they're just shelving it for right now.
Yeah, but we'll see. I hope they do it. Maybe it's I don't know why they stopped it, but let's hope they put them back together because they deserve to be back together. I would say if MVP stops coming out with Cedric and Shelton for a while, then it's definitely shelved. But we'll see. Then again, maybe they don't want to get sick from Lashley because he got the freaking hex, so maybe that's why they don't want to be with.
Oh man, that guy wrestled the other guy had the flu.
Yeah, so it's we gotta stay away from him. So. But anyhow, next, Cody Rhodes responds to what happened with Brock Lesnar, his attack and everything like that. So he comes out. He's still selling the rib injury from WrestleMania week. And, Cody Rhodes asked what we want to talk about. And typically he says he only has one thing that he wants to talk about. But since a lot's been going on with him, he's just gonna talk and see what happens pretty much. And he talks about his loss at WrestleMania, how he disappointed was he didn't finish the story, but he was a man about it. He said that it's not anybody else's fault; it's his own fault for not factoring in that Roman Reigns would have all these other guys around here. He thought he'd be able to overcome that, and he said that he was going to focus on trying to finish the story and get back that WWE not get back, but win for the first time the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship. However, there's been a detour now because he talked about Brock Lesnar. And he talked about how he got attacked by Brock Lesnar. And he talks about how Brock Lesnar typically knows his opponents by looking at him. He's talked about all these people that he's made victims. However, Brock Lesnar gave him a look last week where he felt like he was unsure what Brock Lesnar thought of Cody Rhodes. Did he think he was a victim or did he think he was a threat? And I liked how he kind of shot down those rumors because a lot of the rumors that they were saying on commentary was that Brock Lesnar was annoyed that like he was on a lower spot at WrestleMania and Cody was the main event. He's like, there's got to be something more to it than that because that doesn't. Yeah, Cody basically said that doesn't even make any sense without saying that, pretty much. And
it really didn't make sense to begin with.
Yeah, but Cody at least said that part of it didn't make sense.
Yeah, like the fact that was even like that was even brought up to begin with is like in a story sense doesn't make any sense because the match doesn't deserve to be higher on the card.
Especially too because it's Brock's own fault because he didn't want that's the match he like not the match he wanted, but that's the match he put himself he put himself in that position anyways.
It's a fucking Brock Lesnar and Omos. It should be in the first 3 matches of the night. It's not like he's not like facing Seth Rollins or whoever else like Roman Reigns like deserves to be main eventing. Like, because that's the type of match that he would normally have at WrestleMania as a main event match.
Yeah.
But, like, he's facing Omos. Like, I can't even believe they even brought that up in storyline to begin with.
Yeah. So, Cody Rhodes challenges... he also says that he's definitely afraid of Brock Lesnar, but he's still going to go after him anyways. And he challenges Brock Lesnar to a match at Backlash. And Brock Lesnar is going to be there tonight to answer that challenge. Really good promo here by Cody. Really sucks he's not the champ because he really should be after this promo. Honestly, the Brock Lesnar promo would make more sense if Cody was the champ because at least you can see, well, Brock wants to go for the title and stuff like that. So it would at least make a little bit more sense. But it'll be interesting to see what Brock's like. I really like this promo by Cody. What do you think of it?
I like the promo. Again, like Cody's a great promo guy, so I have no issues with his promos. But like the feud, like you said, I agree with you 100%. Where the feud, if it was for the title, I'd be okay with it. But there's no title involved, so it's kind of just a throwaway match on a card. Yeah, essentially.
They clearly, I think, want to keep Cody away from the bloodline for a while, since he's not gonna obviously dethrone Roman Reigns at least anytime soon. So this was obviously like a
backlash. He's going to face Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, I just don't understand because they easily could just throw him in that 6-man tag that they're clearly setting up at Backlash.
Yeah, WrestleMania Backlash.
Oh yeah, he screws up here and says WrestleMania. This is the second time. It got to the point where like I even said in the chat, that private chat that we have, like, what is this show? Is it Backlash or WrestleMania? Because it's happened twice now where wrestlers don't even know the name of this pay-per-view. So,
Backlash seemed like a Vince thing, and Backlash seems like a Triple H thing.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going on here. I think Cody definitely screwed up here, though. I think.
He 100% did.
Yeah.
Or it's WrestleMania Backlash, and everyone else is fucking up.
Yeah, I don't know. Then we had a really good tag match. It was the Usos versus Alpha Academy. This was a really good tag match here. Really impressive. Eventually, the Usos win with the 1D, the one and done on Chad Gable. He was done with after 1D as he should be. And yeah, the Usos needed this win because they got to get back in the good graces of the Tribal Chief. He's not very happy with him right now. And, this is a good start to that. Obviously, I don't think this completely does away with all the damage that they've done, where I don't think he's going to be completely happy with them, but this is a good starting point. The Tribal Chief might be angry though that it took him as long as it did to beat Alpha Academy. He might be angry about that, though, but we'll come back to that later. But this was a really good tag. This was a really good tag match here, though. I thought Chad Gable looked really strong in the match, and I really liked it. What do you think of it?
I like this tag match. It's a good tag match. The 1D,
one and done.
Just one and done. Just one dick.
Yeah,
they each have one dick,
and they both do the 1D. Jay picks him up, and I think it's Jimmy that hits the move. So it's who's
the 2D.
Yeah. Well, that hasn't happened yet. I don't know who the 2D, because we know who the 3D is, but we don't know. They forgot the number 2. I don't know what happened.
What if it's Roman and Solo? Can they do the 2D?
The who?
Roman and Solo, can they do the 2D?
They could. The Bar did the 1D at one point. Maybe they're the 2D because they were starting to add that to the Arsenal. So
they're definitely the 2D then.
Yeah. Then we had the next match. It was a Raw Women's Championship #1 contenders match. It was Io Sky with Bayley and Dakota Kai ringside versus Piper Niven versus Mia Yim. Obviously, this match was changed. It really the rest of the show was different than what it was supposed to be at this point, because it was meant to be Bianca versus Io Sky, and that match didn't happen, so they just did this match instead. To be honest, I actually think this was a better outcome because I have a feeling Bianca would have probably just beaten Io Sky. I feel like this is better than just Io Sky losing. Really good triple threat match here. Eventually, Mia Yim hits the. I think she gets hit with like a Piper Niven's finish, and then Io Sky hits the moonsault and pins Mia Yim for the win. And Io Sky is going to get the Raw Women's title match. She's probably going to get it at Backlash, and that she'll probably lose that match, and that will officially break up Damage Control. So I like this a lot. I thought this was really good. I thought this was a good triple threat here. What do you think of this?
I liked it. I thought it was a pretty good triple threat match too. Yeah, I think EO winning makes sense, and they break up Damage Control.
Yes, they do. Because Shawn Michaels is trying to creep into the booking right there. He's trying. You know how they mentioned Vince is in the weeds? I bet Shawn Michaels is like trying to claw in those weeds. He's trying to get in those weeds and freaking wake up every tag team he can. Then Kevin Owens gets interviewed. He's just being really nice. He's being very nice to Byron Saxton here, which I think he needed because he got kind of like a cold shoulder earlier. So I'm glad that Kevin Owens is being really nice to him here. He talked about how he's going to do whatever he can to take out the bloodline, even on one leg. But just he was being very nice here. I thought he was a very nice guy here.
Very nice guy.
Kevin Owens is a man. Yeah. I mean, I know he's done bad things in the past, but that was the old Kevin Owens. This is the brand new, improved Kevin Owens right here. So what did you think of Kevin Owens' interview with Byron Saxton? The nice little conversation they had together.
I thought it was awesome. He needs that nice little conversation.
Yeah.
To be nice. Not mean. Yeah. Not mean like if they've been to poor Byron.
I know.
Of it.
And Trish Stratus knows better than this too. She's like a veteran in the business. She's being rude to Byron. Kevin Owens hasn't even been in the business as long as Trish Stratus has been, and he understands just to be a good dude. Like,
just be nice.
Yeah,
not that hard. They're not doing that.
Speaking of not, Kevin Owens wasn't very nice to Solo. Well, Solo wasn't very nice to Kevin Owens here. They had a match. They had a really good match here. Kevin Owens' injuries caught up to him in the numbers game and everything like that. And Solo Sikoa beat him with the Samoan spike. That wasn't very nice. But,
mean?
Yeah, they were being very mean. But then a nice thing happened. So they're all beating down the bloodline except Roman Reigns. They're all beating down Kevin Owens. And Sami Zayn and Matt Riddle, who just flown in kayfabe anyways. Obviously, they got there during the third hour of Raw. But what a very nice guys they are. They realize they're going to have jet lag right here. They don't even need to be there at this point. They could just go to the hotel, get some nice room service. But they were being very nice here. And I don't get to say when Matt Riddle was nice. This was definitely a Sami Zayn call right here because Sami Zayn's that loyal and that nice of a guy. Where they run out of the taxi. They make the save for Kevin Owens. Just really good people right here. What a nice guy Sami Zayn is. Really good friend right here. Because as you know, Sami Zayn always tries to be loyal to the people he's around. Until it gets to a point where it's too mean. But what a nice guy Sami Zayn is. Matt Riddle was just along for the ride here. I think Sami Zayn probably bribed him to come make the save. So I don't think Matt Riddle was doing this. I think this was all Sami Zayn's idea right here. And it was really exciting stuff. And the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn problem continues for the bloodline. It's never getting solved. They're going to continue to be thrown to the bloodline signs. They're never going to solve this problem. And I love it. What did you think? What did you think of this this very nice guy what did you think of the match and how good of a guy Sami Zayn was? And Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn being a consistent problem to the bloodline.
The match was good. But what it pushed it over the top was that nice, good guy, best friend, brother, Sami Zayn. And he brings along that ragtag dude with him, too. The guy who likes to smoke weed and party and go to rehab. That guy.
That's probably how Sami Zayn was able to bribe Matt Riddle to get there, by the way.
Fucking guy's high all the time and doesn't even know it.
I bet Sami Zayn doesn't even know it.
But Sami being the bestest of friends.
Yep.
Not friends. Sami Zayn being the best of friend. He is the bestest of friend. He decided, hey, I'm coming right now. Watch out.
Yep.
because I'm gonna beat up the Bloodline with you and with Stoner over here.
Yes. Nobody about the. Do you think the Bloodline's ever going to solve the Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens problem, or do you think they're going to continue to be a problem for the Bloodline?
They're gonna continue to be a problem for the Bloodline for the next 7,000 years.
Yes, they are.
There's gonna be someone on Mars, and it's gonna be them fighting on Mars.
We have some comments right here. Well, let's do the letter grade for Law first. Not Thirst. I'm gonna give Law a solid B. Considering the fact that they had to throw this show together basically last minute because of travel issues and stuff, I thought they put a really good show here on. What do you think?
I thought it was good. I thought that it was a B. After last week's shit show debacle of a show, right after Mania, where everything was just changed last second. Yeah, they. I thought it was like it was even with the travel issues.
Yes,
you couldn't tell there was any travel issues with this show.
Except the same.
I literally at one point I was like, I thought Bronson Reed was facing Bobby Lashley, and that was on the card. I didn't realize that was a last minute change because it just flowed so well together.
Yeah.
Is it funny? It didn't feel like there was any drag.
Yeah. Is it funny? Is it funny when they have to unintentionally change the show last minute? It actually doesn't feel like it is. That when Vince actually changes the show last minute, it feels like it's changed. Isn't that funny how that happens? Like,
yeah, that's like they have quote unquote travel issues.
Yeah, it was travel issues. Don't say otherwise. So we have some comments here. James did a comment like early in the video saying that we were going to start at 1:30. Or a little later after that, folks. He said to stay tuned. Obviously, that comment doesn't mean anything anymore because we're already here. But it's still good. Still got nice to read out. Zero's channel says "Too sweet me, senpai." I don't know what that means because I don't know like what he's responded to there. I don't know if we said something. We say a lot of things, and And then James said, "Oh Jesus Christ, that's." What was said. LOL, I thought it was a legit question. He does like 3 laughing emojis. I don't remember what we were talking about at the time. But these things happen sometimes. We comment so late we don't even remember what we were talking about at the time. And then Zero, I think this was a response to we were questioning. He says, unfortunately, they the twos and we the ones. That's obviously a reference to the bloodline right there. So. I mean, I say obviously, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it is. He could just be doing his own thing right there.
He could just be counting.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know why, but you wanted to do NXT notes this week. Yeah, I feel like I don't know why you wanted to, but you did. You chose to.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah. Yeah, glutton for punishment, I guess. But
I am a glutton for punishment.
Take us through the show. Tell us when it happened. Tell us the commentary team. Take us through every little thing that happened in NXT. Every little thing.
You're probably not gonna get every little thing. You're gonna get something interesting. The show happened last Tuesday, whenever the fuck that was. It was a date and time that no one really remembers.
Apparently, according to this, I have it April 4th, 2023. I didn't update it in my notes.
April 11th, and the commentary team is the very great and very best friend of Johnny Gargano, Vic Joseph, and the very loud and very boisterous and a pretty horrific commentator, and his name is Booker T.
Yes, he is.
And so the show opens, and they have a segment with Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams, and it basically just gets interrupted by everyone.
Yes, it does.
Everyone, literally. Dragon Lee, JD McDonough, and Grayson Waller. And they're going to have a fatal 4-way match to determine the next challenger for Carmelo Hayes. And I thought it originally was going to be a fatal 5-way for the title, because that would have obviously made sense. But considering the fact that they just did 2 basically fatal 5-ways at Stand and Deliver, they want to do something a little bit different.
Yes, they do.
I liked this opener.
Yes, I did
a lot. It was a very good opener. Carmelo Hayes second week as champion after getting laid out the week before. Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, so I like this promo segment here. Carmelo Hayes is actually much better as a face than he was a heel. I guess he's been a face for a while, but we didn't really know it at the time because
He
we
went
thought
from
he was.
heel to tweener. Now he's face.
Yeah, but it wasn't really.
Never got booed the entire time.
Yeah, but I think his promos flow a little bit better as a face. Obviously, I liked everyone that came out and interrupted him. Carmelo Hayes also. I'm mentioning this now because this ties into what happens later. Was gonna give Braun, but basically gave his blessing for Braun Breaker to be in the Fatal 4-Way match later in the show. And I mentioned that because that ties in later. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, this promo segment was a really good way to start out. I was actually really looking forward to this Fatal 4-Way match because they didn't announce everybody. They just announced like Dragon Lee and JD McDonough. So when I saw that those two were gonna at least be in the match, I'm like, okay, I'm pretty excited about this. But yeah, I like this a lot. I like Carmelo Hayes as a face, and I think Dragon Lee's doing pretty well. I know he's worked in the States and stuff before, but like I don't think he's really had to ever cut promos all that much. He's just typically wrestled, but I think he's done fairly well on the mic for someone that hasn't had to do it all that much. So, and I like Dragon Lee's new theme song where he talks about he's breaking people's necks in the fight pit and all that type of stuff. Like, what are you doing that? What are you doing? He said, catch me in the pit, I'll be breaking necks. Like, what are you doing that for, Dragon Lee? What are you doing that for? It's brutal, man.
It's brutal.
Ugh. Yeah, I like this promo here. It was really good.
So next we had the Women's Tag Team Championship match. Oh boy. We had Alba Fire and Isla Dawn retaining over Fallon Henley and Kiana James. This match fucking sucked. I'll put it this way. I don't want to see this anymore. I don't want to fucking see this tag team. I don't want to see Fallon Henley and Kiana James a tag team anymore.
Yes.
I'm sick and tired of this will they won't they bullshit with this fucking team. I'm also sick and tired of Briggs and Jensen. I used to really like them at the beginning. One, because Brooks Jensen is the son of Bull Buchanan. I was really intrigued to see, the second generation star, see what he can do in the business. Instead, he's shackled with this fucking terrible gimmick of where at first he was made fun of because he didn't get a kiss, and then he was a virgin. What is the point? But they overcame that, and they became a really good fucking tag team, eventually winning the NXT UK Tag Team Championships, which I thought was awesome. And now they introduced Kiana James into this fucking stupid fucking thing and completely fucking ruined it. Because the three of them, Fallon Henley and Briggs and Jensen, was a really good fucking group. And they had to bring Kiana James into it for some reason as the fucking stupid love interest. Now, I just want this all to fucking end because it's really fucking stupid. Just fucking break them up already and move on.
Yeah. Isn't that funny? The one tag team you want to break up, Shawn Michaels won't break up. Isn't that funny how that...
To do it. Please, just fucking do it already.
You know what? We're getting
low burn for a team that was awful to begin with is not good.
Yeah. This is just terrible. They did a segment earlier where Fallon Henley and Kiana James got into it where she tried to challenge Fallon Henley to basically find that fire that she had the beginning of NXT. What is that fire that Kiana James saw? I've never seen it from Fallon Henley. What the hell was that? But I hate it because during the match they completely cut away from it and just show Brooks Jensen arriving. I'm like, typically when they do that, they come right out. He doesn't come out for another 8 minutes. And it's not like the parking lot's that far away. We've seen people come out of the parking lot into the PC and they're there in a second. It took him a while to get over there.
Took him forever.
What the hell was he doing?
I'm done with it. I really am. Just fucking end it already. End the fucking torture.
Yeah. We're getting a crappy mixed tag match at Spring Break, and I hope you know that, by the way. Well, it's going to be Kiana James and Brooks Jensen versus Josh Briggs and Fallon Henley.
I already see how this is going to go. They're going to break up as a tag team, and it's going to be the mixed tag match, like you said.
Yeah.
Fallon and Josh Briggs versus Kiana and Jensen. Yeah. And then a month, not even the next week, Kiana James is going to turn on Brooks Jensen.
Yeah.
And then they're going to do this whole reconciliation thing where it's oh, I should have listened to you guys. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. Please let me back in.
And they're like,
They're
and they're
get
gonna
back
tease.
together as a tag team, and then they're gonna do nothing, and they're gonna break up again.
Yeah, this is
Or
just
release.
terrible.
One of the two.
Yeah, it's just bad. Honestly, I think the best thing to happen is if they should honestly get drafted onto the main roster. I know it'd take a while for people to forget about and stuff, but at least they could have like a restart and all that type of stuff. Like,
It's just horrific.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it'd take us a while for like us to forget about it, but the thing that is, not a lot of people that watch the main watch NXT, so at least they wouldn't come up with instantly with that baggage and stuff. So. But yeah, this is just terrible. It gets worse every week, I think, too. Like, honestly, I think we talk about it. I think we say that every week. It gets worse every week.
I was like, during the previous segment, because I think it was just those three in the room together without Jensen, and I was like, "Where's the cuck? Like, where did the cuck go?"
Yeah.
I was like, here he comes out at the most inopportune time in the match and costs him the match. What a fucking surprise! Because Shawn Michaels is fucking lazy, and this is what happens when you do lazy booking.
Yeah. So Zero has some comments since we're still on the topic. He says, "Hey, Booker T is great on commentary," with a laugh emoji. So I think that was a joke. He also says he brings life in the commentary team, and so maybe he's being serious because he brings life in the commentary team. And then he says, "My favorite tag team on NXT is Pretty Deadly. I love them." With with an emoji with like that heart emoji. So we know who he likes as a tag team. It's Pretty Deadly. So
other than that, it sucks.
Yeah, continue.
They pretty good too. Also, I actually like Pretty Deadly.
I do too.
So next we have another terrible segment where it's Duke Hudson is getting his MVP. It's his MVP ceremony.
Yes.
At Chase U. Everything's going fine. And then Braun Breaker randomly shows up.
Yeah.
And now he's in black now, so you know he's a heel. Stupidest thing ever. He shakes Andre Chase's hand and then goes to leave and then spears him. And what does Duke Hudson do? What we fucking thought he was going to do. He grabbed the fucking trophy and ran away.
Yep.
Nice.
It was so weird too.
Guess what's going to happen literally tomorrow, because it's Monday right now when we're doing this. You know what's going to happen tomorrow? They're going to question him why he didn't try to save him.
Yep.
And then he's going to turn on him because we know it's fucking coming.
By the way, he was so weird about it too. Like he ran around like he didn't know what to do and then just grabbed the trophy and left. But
he just he walked backwards, like holding it like it was his fucking child and staring back at Andre Chase. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah,
this terrible. Is where I was like, okay, this is fucking stupid. This is fucking dumb. Like, and then, why can't we have good things happening on this fucking show and keep it that way? We had a good tag team with Briggs and Jensen. We had a fucking good tag team and good stable in JSU. And now they're fucking all going to be gone within the next month.
This is where you know that Shawn Michaels' booking's falling apart, by the way, because 2 segments of the show back-to-back pretty much were building up a tag team breaking up that we don't want to get broken up. Like, that was 2 segments in a row where it happened. Like, stupid.
It's dumb.
But there's one thing you missed here that we need to talk about. So Braun Breaker, you know he wasn't going to go into the 4-way, I think. I think it was I didn't think he was, just because it didn't make sense for him to go in it. But what reason do they give that he doesn't want to be in the 4-way match? The reason that he's a heel now? He talks about how the NXT championship was cursed to him. And I was just like, how is that a curse? Let's talk about
how could it be a curse? How could it be a curse if he won every match?
Yeah. Also, like, how could it be a curse? That title made you pretty much. Like, half of your NXT career has been revolved around competing for that championship. By the way, we talked about this. If there's any title that's cursed anybody, it was Finn Balor for the Universal title. This makes sense because let's talk about it. When he won the belt, he got hurt. He challenged Roman Reigns for it and then immediately slid down the card the first time. And he was doing really well on the main roster when he got called back up again. And then he challenged Reigns for the belt, and his career altered until he joined Judgment Day. That's a belt that cursed somebody. Braun Breaker. Let's talk about what he did. Let's see what a cursed championship this is. Had a really good performance when he challenged Tommaso Ciampa before. Didn't win it, but that's fine. pin the champion at War Games. Really cursed belt this is. Wins the championship in a star-making performance. You could say, well, he lost the belt like the Dolph Ziggler and stuff like that, but he wasn't even pinned to lose the belt to begin with anyways. Really cursed belt. Got to show up on Raw as NXT champion. Really cursed belt this is. He got to win the belt on Raw. Not like on NXT, on Raw, where a lot of people watch it. Really cursed belt this is. Held the belt for 10 months. Main evented like about every special that NXT ever had. Lost the championship because he was hitting the back of the head with the belt, but that was out of his control. What a cursed championship this is to him. Like I couldn't think of a more cursed guy with the belt. So cursed.
He's extremely cursed.
I guess so. So if you don't want to be the NXT champion, why did you turn heel? Why did you turn heel last week? It doesn't even make any sense. Like, why did you turn heel then? If you think the NXT title was the whole reason, the whole reason he turned was he was mad. I thought he'd be mad that he was rude to the champ, that he was like screwed out of the championship. But if he says the title's cursed, why is he a heel then? Why are you a heel? Like,
it doesn't like this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that line was so stupid. I feel like too, it's a line that Shawn Michaels wrote in that thought would be like edgy. A lot of people were thinking, "Oh, this is cool right here. This is awesome." Because you could do a storyline like this where someone doesn't want to be champion because it's a cursed championship, like Finn Balor with the Universal Championship. But this was a dumb way to go about it. This was stupid. Like, I think Shawn wrote this in thinking that everyone was going to think this is cool. But if you really think about it, it doesn't even make sense that he would say this. Like,
it's just dumb. It's just dumb.
I mean, if there's any other belt that cursed someone, Karrion Kross with the NXT Championship, because when he won the NXT title, he got hurt right away.
Immediately.
And then when he won it the second time, he went to Raw and lost in like a minute to Jeff Hardy, world champion, and lost the belt. And then like that's a belt that cursed somebody. So it's like, yeah, what a cursed champion Braun Breaker is apparently. Really cursed champion right there. Cursed. He's cursed.
He's fucking cursed.
I guess so. This is terrible. This is awful. Oh, the show gets worse from here. Continue going through this show. This is we had one good segment so far into the opener.
Yeah, I think it's been garbage. They do a stupid fucking segment with Gigi doing her backstory again. I don't fucking care.
Yeah, it's just
dumb.
I mean, I feel like it's a fine story, but like, it gets to almost like a face, but like, I don't know, just I feel like too because it's a story that we've heard like everybody talk about, and they talked about the story before and used it as like a heel thing. Now they're trying to use it like a face. It just doesn't really work. It does not work.
Pretty Deadly and Stax and Tony D get to a fight. Now the Prince gets thrown into a trunk of a car and they drive away.
That was bad.
I guess like that's to make up for the fact that they lost last week, so they're gonna kidnap Elton Prince.
They let him go late. Apparently, they let him go though because they show up later anyways. And by the way, you could say they make up for it. We'll just talk about it now. They get beat down again later to losing all the momentum they just got from that. So what was the point of this? Like
nothing. Actually, nothing was the point of it. Eddie Thorpe beat Javier Bernal. Great. It gets Eddie Thorpe over, and Damon Kemp was watching the match, so he's going to lose to Eddie Thorpe next week, or whatever. Like this week, upcoming tomorrow.
I don't
going to lose to him. Cool.
I haven't cared about Eddie Thorpe all that much. I feel like this technically wasn't actually that bad, but it was in like a slog of shit that I just did not like. I did not care about this at all. That's how it was in. You just saw like fairly shitty segments in a row. I wanted to see like a good match, and then we saw the freaking squash. I'm like, okay, this is inoffensive, but I wanted to see a good match, and we saw this. I didn't want to see this. Like, you do. This is why you book a ton of shit in a row. People are going to be conditioned right away to not want to see stuff like this. Like I wanted to see a good match, and we didn't get to see it.
Feels like it's a bit a slog at this point.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's going to probably face Damon Kemp, and Damon Kemp's going to lose, I don't give a fuck.
I know, yeah.
I don't care about Damon Kemp. He's not interesting.
And who's Eddie? Like they haven't done anything to build Eddie Thorpe as like a character. Like they did 2 vignettes. He debuted randomly, but before he should on the Go Home episode of Stand and Deliver, which he should have debuted there. That didn't even make any sense. And then he hasn't done. And then here he's he's just a guy. He just seems like a guy now. He doesn't even seem like he's that important. I feel like too, he's not going to do much in NXT. I think he's going to beat Damon Kemp. He's going to have like one North American title match against Wesley. We're going to like that a lot, and then he's not going to be seen ever again. Like he's just going to like
disappear.
Yeah.
Gallus are at the Performance Center next. They want to. They're picking a fight, and they got interrupted by Schism. Don't care.
That was terrible. And then
just don't care enough. I mean, I like Gallus, but I don't care about Schism.
Yeah. And then they also pick a fight with Tank Ledger, which leads to Joe Coffey versus Tank Ledger later in the show. I like Tank Ledger a lot, though. He's really entertaining, and he's really, he was. And I like the fact that like his debut happened earlier because it was good stuff.
And then we have Tiffany Stratton versus Sol Ruka. And for some reason, Tiffany Stratton won, even they keep hyping up Sol Ruka as this like great prospect, but she can never win. They right there have the most blandest human being of all time, and Tiffany Stratton beat this supposed on fire rookie who can't get a win now.
Yeah, this was set up earlier because Sol Ruka and Danny Palmer made like a TikTok. We're making a TikTok, and Tiffany Stratton got upset about. Tiffany Stratton got upset about it, saying, "You can't be making that stuff like this in my parking lot." And this set up a match later.
This match was not awful.
This match was not all that good. I don't know if they were holding back because Tiffany Stratton could have like some back damage from that bump she took at like Stand and Deliver, so maybe they didn't want to do too much. Sal Roca didn't hit a soul snatcher. She didn't hit any of her moves that were athletic.
Done.
Tiffany, she was, and she lost with a moonsault.
She's finished.
If this was the black and gold NXT, Sal Ruka would have been like. I feel like too. I was just thinking about this. I think Sal Ruka is going to take Indy Hartwell's spot as NXT jobber now because they can't really have Indy Hartwell lose now. I think that's what's going. And you know what's going to happen? Sal Ruka will randomly win the championship one week. She's going to randomly win the championship at like Battleground.
She wasn't even on the fucking show.
Oh, why would she want to show up on the show? Yeah.
What a bizarre thing! Like she had the big promo last week, and Zoe Stark had won, and then she's not even on the fucking show this week.
Yeah.
So the Creed brothers are with Mackenzie Mitchell, and they want a shot. They talked about how they want a shot at Gallus. And then Tiffany Stratton comes up, and then complains that she's not the #1 contender. Wow, big fucking deal.
She calls Mackenzie Mitchell gross for no reason. It was really mean.
I don't get why they fucking feel they need to push fucking. Now I know what it is now. They needed Tiffany Stratton now to be the fucking #1 contender, so they need to push her over Sol Ruka, even though Sol Ruka is far more entertaining, has far more potential. They want to put fucking this idiot in there instead.
Yep.
I'm like, why can't you, Shawn Michaels, just push Sol Ruka?
Yeah.
She should be on a fucking winning streak right now, not losing in a tag match to Alba Fire and fucking Isla Dawn and taking the pin because they didn't want whoever the fuck else it was to take the pin. Not losing to Tiffany Stratton. Winning matches. That's how you put people over.
She wasn't in the
matches.
She wasn't in the ladder match of Stand and Deliver, which she would have been like the standout in that match, but nobody could put her in that match.
They had to put Tiffany Stratton in there instead.
Yeah. Well, Zoe Stark,
she's the one that's probably going to win the fucking title now. Watch it. Great. Wow. What a fucking awesome champion that's going to be. Now she like fucking the charisma vacuum. Tiffany Stratton.
Oh, the next promo was even worse, though.
Speaking even more of a charisma vacuum, Cora Jade has a promo where she is the least convincing heel I've ever seen in my entire life. But apparently Shawn Michaels doesn't fucking see that. Because apparently he's watching the show blind because he can't fucking see.
I'm gonna say this. I think she might be the worst heel I've like ever seen. Like I know there's been other bad heels before, but I think why Cora Jade's the worst is because she's not convincing at all as like a heel. Like that's bad.
Just not convincing.
Yeah.
They need. First of all, she was on the rise of like Paige, and now they completely fucking ruined her. And now she's a garbage heel.
I mean, I know Paige
isn't like a good heel either. It's like she's not convincing.
Yeah, I know Paige turned heel like in WWE and stuff, but at least when Paige turned heel, she was actually like a good heel. She also had a really good face in AJ Lee to go up against at the time. I mean, I know that I think the reason Paige just didn't work is because the booking of the Divas division at the time wasn't the strongest.
It's because she was so over.
Yeah, but at least Paige was a convincing heel, though. She was actually good at being a heel, but like Cora Jade's just terrible at being a heel.
She's just awful. It's like she's so much better as a face, and they just don't see it.
I think the worst thing that happens in the
terrible.
The worst things that happened in the promo, and I think this was a complete Cora Jade call because she's posted about it everywhere on social media, like because she's like a big AJ Lee and CM Punk fan. The first thing she says in her promo is, "So I have everybody's attention now." I'm like, "Oh, so you're whipping off what CM Punk said all that time ago when he was doing his pipe bomb stuff." Like, great.
Do I have your attention now? No, you don't.
Yeah, yeah. Talk about what she says in this, because this was obviously meant to be like a pipe bomb promo. Talk about what she says in this pipe bomb promo.
I don't even fucking remember what she said in the promo because I can care less about it because it went on, first of all, far too fucking long to begin with, and secondly, it wasn't good.
Yeah, and but yeah, so she basically just buries the NXT Women's Division. I think the worst thing that she says is she talks about Roxanne Perez, and she says, obviously she buries her because they were in a feud, but she says, "I don't know what you've been going through. I've known about it for a while. I'm not going to touch it," but then proceeds to kind of talk about it anyways, even though she said she's not going to talk about it. She proceeds to talk about it anyways. Like, it was
terrible.
So stupid. Yeah.
Just terrible. First of all, the gimmick that she has now is not evolved.
Not at all.
She cuts the same fucking promo she did last year. The same fucking promo all the time.
Yeah.
All the fucking time. It's all the fucking same thing. Not different. It's the same fucking promo every single time. She's this fake mean girl that just like gives off fake heel. Like, it just doesn't even like she doesn't even sound authentic. Like, it's just fucking awful. And then Lyra Valkyria comes out and fucking again just little brother fucking just sucked. I'm not talking anymore. Cora Jade ran off because she's a fucking cowardly heel now, and I don't care. I just don't fucking care at all.
Yeah. They're obviously doing this feud because they were supposed to do it earlier this year, and then Cora Jade went somewhere, and yeah, she just went somewhere.
He just fucking Shawn Michaels has taken this fucking show and completely ruined it. We knew this was gonna happen. We knew he was gonna have one good show, and then the next fucking 6 months is gonna be fucking terrible.
Oh yeah.
And this is exactly what this fucking show is, because it went off the rails fast.
It did.
Ilya Dragunov wanted a squash. So
yeah,
Mr. Stone can no longer be managing Von Wagner anymore. The guy who can't fucking talk to begin with doesn't have a manager anymore. Great. That's a fucking great stipulation. Not that Mr. Stone was relevant anyway, because they found a way to make him somehow irrelevant, even though Von Wagner cannot talk.
Yeah.
And then the charisma vacuum.
Yeah.
And then Dijak came out after.
He's the charisma. He's the charisma vacuum for the charisma vacuum.
And then Dijak came out to threaten Dragunov, which again, that's interesting to me. I like that.
Yeah, I do.
Finally, something of interest on this fucking show that hasn't happened since 8 o'clock. Because they completely butchered everything else on this fucking show.
It was bad.
And not just butchered it, they fucking took a cleaver and picked apart every fucking thing.
Yep.
To make it worse somehow.
Yes.
Shawn Michaels and his stupid writing team all need to be fired because they're all fucking terrible.
Yes, they are.
They're fucking horrible. I don't even know how they got hired in the first place.
Well, Shawn Michaels told us because Triple H had a heart attack pretty much. So he had to step in pretty much. That's how it happened.
You would think a guy who has this much knowledge of the business would stop, first of all, reusing his matches and his feuds and stop fucking burying people on this fucking show.
You would think.
God, this show's pissing me off. Like, it's fucking just like rereading this whole fucking thing. I'm like, the Chase U segment was supposed to be really good.
Yeah,
but it wasn't.
Yeah.
We knew Fallon Henley in the stupid tag team match for the women's tag titles was going to be what it was.
Yeah.
It's just it's just not good.
Oh, I guess what? I guess the show does pick up a little bit after this, but no, it was too late at this point, though. It
It
was
was already too late. They already killed it.
yeah.
Joe Coffey beat Tank Ledger. Squash match.
It wasn't a complete squash match. Tank Ledger got like some offense in. They did make him look fairly strong because he was able to take the Awa best for the bells. Like he took one and then he got up from it. So I didn't hate this too much. I love Booker T on commentary because when Vic Joseph called his finisher, like I remember Booker trying to call it, he didn't even know the name of it. He got it like completely wrong. Like, wait, what the heck is the name of that move? He's like Awa best. Like Booker T like didn't even get that name of that move, and he didn't understand it. I don't think he liked the name of that move at all. He couldn't stand the sight of it. Like it was pretty funny.
Yeah, and then after the match, then the Creed Brothers Dyad came out and they brawled with Gallus, which is good. Finally!
Yeah, we had a good thing. We had a good
actually
thing.
good for the first time in over an hour.
Yeah.
This is like Vince McMahon levels of fucking boring and bland and stupid from when he was running the show for all those years.
So don't forget
2015 when no one gave a fuck about it.
You got to talk about, before you talk about the main event, I just want to talk about some things you missed because the main event's actually like great. I'll go through it. So we missed Noam Dar's video package. It was really good. He was going over like the Heritage Cup and everything like that. I'm looking forward to it. I think the first opponent he's gonna face, well, not the first one, but I think the main one will be like Dragon Lee. I think he'll get the match for the Heritage Cup. I know we talked about how I don't love the Heritage Cup rules and stuff like that. It says, it's obviously a niche audience. I feel like Shawn Michaels is going to ruin those rules in a second. He's going to ruin those. He's just waiting for that.
It's going to be ruined. Don't worry, because it's going to be it's not going to be like a typical British rules match. It's going to be after you hit your finisher.
Yeah.
And it's going to take a count of one and you win.
Shawn Michaels will have like judges ringside. We have like people that don't even know wrestling judge the match. And it'll be like he'll make it like unscripted too, and he'll make it legit.
Like Simon Cowell. Like
Scripps did a promo saying he's going to expose Axiom. So there you go.
We know he's not exposing anyone besides his face and that he's Reggie.
And then the family do a thing backstage. They talk to Roxanne Perez and Roxanne Perez says that she's ready to get to work and she's upset with Zoe Stark that she took her like title opportunity. And Zoe Stark comes up and they go back and forth with each other. Zoe Stark talked about Roxanne Perez used her anxiety as an excuse and all that type of stuff. It was just bad. And then this is when Pretty Deadly like attacked the family and just took all their momentum and all their heat away. It's and why did they let Pretty Deadly go? It didn't even, huh?
He somehow found they somehow found Elton Prince, I guess.
Yeah, like why'd you let him go? That didn't even make any sense.
It'd be better if he killed him like 2 times.
The main event though, rules on this show.
It was Grayson Waller versus Dragon Lee versus JD McDonough and Duke Hudson, and Grayson Waller won, which made a whole hell of a lot of sense because now with Carmelo Hayes being the face, it makes just too much sense. And this match is going to be great. This match was great. It was a really fucking match. And in 2 weeks, he'll face Carmelo Hayes for the tag team championship, like for the NXT championship. And that match is going to be fucking great. That match is going to steal the fucking show. It's on pay-per-view, so Shawn Michaels cannot possibly fuck this up.
Yeah. Well, it's not pay-per-view, but it's like one of those on TV.
It's the special NXT show.
Yeah.
The free pay-per-view that you get like once a month on on NXT.
Yeah. But I like this a lot. I think the best part about this 4-way is it was really unpredictable who was going to win. It really could have been any of these guys, and I wouldn't have complained about it. I did question. I think it's a bit soon for Grayson Waller. I think he should have been like the final opponent of Carmelo Hayes' face. But the reason I could come up with is I think Grayson Waller is probably getting drafted in a couple of weeks, so that's why they want to do the match now. I think Grayson. Yeah. That's going to be. I think he's getting drafted because Grayson Waller, which we talked about it. If Grayson Waller's off NXT, that's gonna hurt NXT really bad. Like that's really gonna hurt.
It is gonna hurt them big time.
Huge, especially now that because he was the best heel in NXT, and now the big heel will be Braun Breaker, and I don't. He'll probably be better as a heel than it was a face, but week 1 of Braun Breaker as a heel was atrocious. I don't think it's going to get much better than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like this match. It really could have been any of these guys. I honestly thought it was going to be like Duke Hudson just to get like a first opponent under his belt. But again, Grayson Waller makes sense because I think he's getting drafted in a couple weeks. NXT's washed. This draft's, I think, really going to hurt NXT, though. Let's just talk about this real quick because I think Pretty Deadly are getting drafted. I think the Creed brothers are actually getting drafted because I don't think there's much more for them to do in NXT. Like, and the thing is, I don't want any. You could say, well, they could put some main roster guys in NXT. I don't want them to go to NXT. We saw how well that went for Apollo Crews. He can't get a win in NXT anymore. He wasn't.
He literally can't. He's literally not shown.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't think. I feel like now you can't. How is it funny as that? We don't want people to go to NXT now. That's ironic. Like typically, we would always beg for people to go to NXT to be used better. Now it's the opposite. We want people to go to the main roster to get used better. That's ironic how that happened. I guess it should be that way. We talked about it, but like, it just. I don't know. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing like Grayson Waller versus. There is one other thing we missed on this show. They set up a match for the North American title with Wesley and. What's his name? Not Timothy Thatcher, but the guy that's like
Charlie Dempsey. That match
Charlie Dempsey.
Good.
Yeah, and I really like that. So I will give NXT a freaking D. It was really bad. Basically, you could just watch the beginning of the show and the end of the show and be all set. That's basically the main thing that happened. That's the thing. And I guess you could watch Tank Ledger versus Joe Coffey, but you don't really need to watch it. The only thing you really need to watch is just the beginning and the end. And if everything in the middle sucks, then that's really bad. So I'm giving it a D.
You give it a D? I'm going to give it an F. Because not even an F+. This is the fucking straight up F. Watch the beginning and the end. Don't watch anything in the middle. I know people were excited for the MVP ceremony, but it's completely ruined.
Yeah.
Don't even bother watching the women's tag team match because it sucked. Don't bother watching the Core J promo because it might have been the worst in NXT history. It just sucked. The whole show just sucked. But besides the main event and the opening segment, which were the only reason why this is getting not an incomplete from me is a fucking the beginning segment and the ending segment. That's it. Nothing else to be talked about.
I think the reason I didn't give it an F is because that main event ruled so much. It brought it up to a D. That's how good
it from me.
Yeah.
From being an incomplete, which is I'm not going to even give it a grade because it was so shitty.
There was a complaint.
An F.
There was a complaint with the main event though. It was a little too short because I think it's NXT ends at 10:08. I think the main event started at like 9:50. It was a little too short. Because I don't think the main event actually started until like 9:56 because they did the entrances first at like 9:50 and then they came back.
For a second, I'll be back in a second. I'm just gonna mute my mic.
But we're covering main event anyway, so there's no reason for you to be here. But yeah, that's NXT. Let's cover main event real quick. While I'm waiting for Chris to come back. Main event took place on April 12th, 2023. We had the commentary team of Byron Saxon and Kevin Patrick. They did pretty well together on commentary. It kicked off with Nikki Cross versus Zoe Stark. This match was really good. Nikki Cross won, but they made Zoe Stark look really strong in defeat. It made sense for Nikki Cross to win because she hasn't had a big win in a while, so it made sense for her to get the win here. Then we had a match that ruled on this show. It was Dolph Ziggler versus Tyler Bate. Tyler Bate's first real opportunity at a main roster level. I know he's been seen before on the main roster in other places like on 205 Live and things like that, but this is the biggest crowd I think he's ever fought in front of in the States anyways. And this match was really good. Dolph Ziggler won with a super kick, but they made Tyler Bate look really strong in defeat. And I really wish they would have put this match on Raw and SmackDown or something because it was really good.
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah, I just covered main event. So
that's my I have a doctor's appointment next week. I just wanted to confirm with you a few things.
There you go. But yeah, main event's B-. It was good. So let's move on to SmackDown. SmackDown ruled this week, man. SmackDown took place I have it on in my notes. It says April 7th, 2023. That's not right at all. It's
Not even
April
close.
4th. It's April, well, that's a week off. April 14th, 2023. At least it's not like. At least I didn't say like April 6th, 2006. At least I didn't say that. I would. But we had Wade Barrett and Michael Cole on commentary for this show. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn come out to do a promo. They talk about fighting the bloodline and how they've been in this war with them. And then the Usos come out. The Usos, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens go back and forth. Sami Zayn talks about how the Usos are on thin ice with the bloodline. The bloodline's breaking up, and the Usos says, "You've been saying that, Sami, but we're more dangerous and stronger than ever." And it leads to a fight. The heels get out, the faces get outnumbered, but eventually Matt Riddle makes the save, and the faces fight off the heels. And this was a good segment to start off the show. I liked it. I did, even though you could say it was repetitive, I did like that they referenced the fact that Sami Zayn, at least what Sami Zayn has been saying has been repetitive. So at least they reference it. At least there's that reference there. But I like this a lot. What did you think of this?
I liked it. It was good.
And then Adam Pearce is backstage, and he tells one of the referees backstage to go tell Matt Riddle and Solo Sikoa that they're wrestling in the main event tonight. So that was exciting. Then we had Xavier Woods versus LA Knight. This match was good stuff right here. Eventually, LA Knight tries to roll up Xavier Woods and use the tights for the win, but the referee catches him. So then Xavier Woods reverses into a roll up of his own, and he holds the tights onto LA Knight, and Xavier Woods wins. I didn't understand this at first because I thought they were going to give LA Knight the win here, but they do make sense of it, like in the next segment. But yeah, I like this match here. LA Knight was robbed here because, yes, he was cheating, but the referee didn't go down in time for the pinfall. So the referee was a bit slow on that count there. LA Knight could have won this match, but he was robbed right here. That's not fair. That's very not nice. What did you think of this?
I like the match, but I really prefer LA Knight to win. I mean, either way, it didn't matter to me. I like them both, but
Yeah.
LA Knight, I think, deserved to win more.
I understand it though, considering what they do in the next segment. But I feel like they could have just thrown another heel in there instead of having LA Knight to take a loss, because I feel like this was time for LA Knight to win. So, Imperium's backstage. They're talking about stuff. We don't understand what they're saying because they're saying it in German, and we don't speak German, but they could have been talking about cool things. We don't really know what they were talking about. And Xavier Woods comes up and blows the trombone at Walter. And Walter takes offense to this. And Xavier Woods at first apologizes and acts like he's going to walk away. And then he just comes back and blows the trombone again. And then Walter tells Xavier Woods that he doesn't take this business seriously and that he needs to focus on discipline. And Xavier Woods says that he's here to have a good time, and he does take this business seriously. And he says that he'll take it even more seriously when he takes the Intercontinental Championship home. And that match was set up for next week. So that's why it did make sense later on with that Xavier Woods one, because they clearly wanted it to get some momentum behind him so he could challenge Walter for the Intercontinental Championship. So I get that. I just wish it didn't have to be LA Knight that had to take the loss. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Walter versus Xavier Woods. I don't know if you watched the SmackDown Lowdown, but Xavier Woods cuts this really good promo on the SmackDown Lowdown where he talks about how he takes his business seriously. It was really good. You got to watch it. And I really liked it, but I'm looking forward to seeing Walter versus Xavier Woods. What did you think of this segment backstage?
I liked it. I thought it was good.
And then we had Matt Riddle and Sami Zayn backstage. And Sami Zayn tells Matt Riddle to be careful out there because last time he got laid out by the Bloodline and taken out for 6 months. And Sami Zayn apologizes because he was on the other side fighting with the Bloodline. And he feels a little responsible that happened. And Kevin Owens completely disagrees with Sami Zayn. He said that Matt Riddle should want to go after with all of his heart and all of his soul against Solo Sikoa. And Sami Zayn agrees with Kevin Owens, and Matt Riddle says that he was taken out for 188 days, and he's going to take all that aggression out on Solo Sikoa. But he says he'll try to be as careful as he possibly can. And he forgives Sami Zayn for turning on him. Again, Matt Riddle's a stoner, so I think that's why he forgave him so quick. Because he's a stoner guy, so that's why he forgave him so quick. But I like this segment a lot. I thought Sami Zayn was being a very nice guy here, really looking out for someone that didn't even need to be looked out for to begin with. And I just like that Sami Zayn just being a very good person as of late. I like it when people are good people. What did you think of this?
I thought it was good, and good people being good people will always win in the end.
Yeah. Well, Matt Riddle didn't win in the end, but and he was being a pretty decent person. So next, the Judgment Day get interviewed, and I think it was everybody but Finn Balor was there. Kayla Braxton asked Damian Priest about his match coming up with Santos Escobar, and he said he's going to take care of him. And she asked Rhea Ripley what she thought of Zelina Vega embarrassing her the previous week. And Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio took really offense to this, that like Kayla Braxton asked a question like that. Said, "How dare you? We were not embarrassed last week." Like Rhea Ripley, they would give it no weird looks. They did not like that question at all. And I loved it at the end because when they go out for the match, like Rhea Ripley like stared like into Kayla Braxton's soul. Like it was awesome. What did you think of this?
That's fucking scary.
It was scary.
It was good.
Then we had Damian Priest versus Santos Escobar. And Damian Priest cuts a promo saying that he considered Bad Bunny a friend, but he had no choice but to take him out because he messed with his family. And he warned him not to come back. Or else
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Fucking friend.
He wants him not to come back, or else he's gonna put him down for good. So I don't know if that means he's just gonna like injure him really bad. He was gonna kill him. He wasn't very specific though. So, and then the LWO come out. Zelina Vega distracts Rhea Ripley, which allows the LWO to get the jump on him, and it leads to the match between Damian Priest and Santos Escobar. They had a really good match there. The LWO brawl around with Dominic Mysterio. Eventually, Damian Priest takes Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wilde and just sends them over the barricade. And Zelina Vega hits a head scissors onto Rhea Ripley. And eventually, Damian Priest hit the South of Heaven onto Santos Escobar and gets the win. Afterwards, the Judgment Day continue to beat up the LWO. Rey Mysterio runs out to make the save, and he beats up his son and attacks him. So this was good stuff right here. I like this. But it does suck that they keep having LWO lose. I don't think they've beaten Judgment Day like once in a match. But I thought they protected Santos Escobar pretty well in defeat, so it's kind of whatever there. But what do you think of this?
I liked it. It was really good. I would like the LWO to win a match, please, but
Yeah.
it wasn't bad.
During this point, I think it was this point in the show. I might have exactly when it happened. One, Michael Cole and Wade Barrett were talking about the WWE draft, and Michael Cole was asking Wade Barrett about the draft, and Wade Barrett says, "I usually just got left out in the cold with the draft." And Michael Cole was rubbing into Wade Barrett's face, saying, "Like, I got drafted in my career once," and Barrett's like, "And how did that change your career?" I was like, "Oh, it changed my career really well. I became like the voice of WWE pretty much." And Wade Barrett took offense to this and said, "I hope you get drafted to purgatory so we never have to hear from you ever again." I just love that Michael Cole was basically rubbing into Wade Barrett's face that he was worthy enough to get drafted and Wade Barrett never was. That was awesome. I loved that. That was great. Michael Cole deserves to have that moment of praise right there. I love that. What did you think of Michael Cole going at it with Wade Barrett right there?
It was great.
It was awesome. Then the Bloodlines backstage, and basically, Paul Heyman said that he talked to Roman Reigns on the phone and said that he wants Solo Sikoa to take care of the the Matt Riddle problem, not the Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens problem. Well, I bet Roman Reigns would like that too, but he was kind of talking about the Matt Riddle problem at that moment. And Solo Sikoa said, "You could tell Roman Reigns, I got this." And I think that's the first time Solo Sikoa has spoke since he's joined the main roster. So when he spoke too, Paul Heyman made sure to go call Roman Reigns. He made sure that Roman Reigns got that message. He did not want to get murdered by Solo Sikoa. What do you think of this backstage segment here? I liked it a lot.
It was good. It was really, really good. I loved it.
Then we had the celebration for the women's tag team champions. They celebrated. They were happy they won the tag team titles. And then they got interrupted by Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville. They wondered how that was even legal for Trish Stratus to be in the match because they didn't even beat the tag champions. And I like how Michael Cole just said, "Well, it can happen. It's whatever." I like how they were just so whatever about it. Michael Cole was pretty laid back about it. Like Michael Cole was being really laid back on SmackDown. I loved it. He was being really cool on this show. I like cool Michael Cole. But
he's awesome.
Yeah, he's cool. And then they basically challenged them to the women's tag team titles. It leads to a brawl where the faces fight off the heels, and we're getting that match this Friday on SmackDown. So, what do you think of the segment here? I thought it was fine, very defensive. Nothing offended me here.
Yeah, nothing offensive. It wasn't offensive. It was good. I didn't mind it.
Then we had the return of Shinsuke Nakamura. He absolutely squashes Madcap Moss. It's a complete loser. Madcap Moss is squashed by Nakamura. And afterwards, Madcap Moss tries to attack him again, and he gets put in the cross arm ring. Like, Madcap Moss got owned on SmackDown.
He fucking just got jobbed out.
It was awesome. I loved it. I don't know why I loved it so much. I don't even hate Madcap Moss or anything like that. I just love seeing Shinsuke Nakamura kick people's ass. And I don't know why I just loved it that it was Madcap Moss who got jobbed out. It was great. What do you think of this? I feel like it was revenge for his friend Hideo Itami that Madcap Moss injured his neck and ruined his WWE career all the time ago. So this was deserved right here. This was karma catching up with Madcap Moss. I love this. It was great. This was for Hideo Itami right here. I loved it. What did you think of this? It was awesome.
It was great. Fucking jobber.
What a loser he is. What a loser. He's about to
job squad to the max.
Emma was trying to hype him. I feel like too, I loved it because Emma was like trying to hype him up like he was like the next big thing. He was so much better than Nakamura and stuff like that. And I just love. You got owned by Nakamura. It was awesome. It was great.
What does he think he is? Brock Lesnar?
Not anymore. He got destroyed right here. He got nothing.
Ain't no next big thing.
Next big thing getting jobbed out by Nakamura. That's what it is. That's what that is. So afterwards, though, Karrion Kross pretty much says that his next target is Shinsuke Nakamura. I'm interested in seeing that. I think this is the feud that's going to turn Karrion Kross's career around. I think he needs this feud. The problem is that they both really can't lose though, because Nakamura just came back, and Karrion Kross he can't. I like how I say another loss. I guess he technically won that Ray feud, but he just can't take a loss here. So I don't know what kind of happens here. What do you think of the potential of the feud between Shinsuke Nakamura and Karrion Kross?
I think it has great potential for both guys. I really hope that it's either one of them comes out on top and it's a bigger push in the end, but we'll fucking find out, I guess.
But well, we know who's not getting a bigger push at the end, and that's Madcap Moss. He's getting
that
nothing.
Fucking guy will never get a push.
Well, he did technically get a little bit of a push when he was joking around and all that type of stuff, but that's over now. That's one over.
It's done.
Braun Strowman and Ricochet get absolutely destroyed by the Viking Raiders backstage. They take this the big setup like those poles and just destroy Braun Strowman with it. They hit the Ragnarok onto Ricochet through a table. Very mean. It really wasn't very nice. I don't understand why they did this. They weren't even doing anything wrong. I understand that Ricochet beat like Ivar in a match 1-on-1, but I don't know why Ivar's going after Ricochet for that. He should have stepped his game up that way.
It's fucking cruel.
This was not very nice right here. And I thought they this was very mean. There was no reason for this to happen.
How fucking
it set up a tag match for next week, but they could have gone about this in a nicer way. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's the poor guy. Like,
no, I feel bad for Ricochet. I feel bad for Ricochet. Like, they murdered Ricochet here. I feel so bad for him. Like, him and Braun Strowman were just having a nice conversation. What were they even doing at SmackDown? They didn't even have a match that night or anything like that. And they're there anyways. Like, maybe they were just maybe they were just working things out. Like, that's why I don't even get. Like, did the Viking Raiders like follow them to SmackDown? Like, were they stalking them? I don't understand.
Yeah, they
this.
were.
Like, apparently, this is such a mean segment. But stop being mean. Like, these wrestlers need to like grow up. Like, what do you think of this?
Yeah, it's so cruel and mean. Wow.
I get the Vikings, but it's like, come on.
I
don't understand this. Then Matt Riddle faced Solo Sikoa. This was a really good match right here. Before the match starts, Paul Heyman reveals that the Roman Reigns pulled some strings. But he mentioned that it was a struggle, though. He mentioned like Roman Reigns had to really convince management to make this match. He announced that 2 weeks on SmackDown, which I think it's the same episode as the draft show, the Usos are invoking their rematch clause for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. That's not supposed to be rematch clauses anymore. I thought that was done away with. That was very. But I guess Roman Reigns he knew the right strings to pull. I guess he got them a rematch clause that they shouldn't even have anyways. And he said that they better win that match. And he mentioned that the Roman Reigns is losing patience with the Usos. And yeah, that was just interesting right there. So
Maybe it was.
That was very mean by Roman, though. I guess he didn't watch Raw this week because the Usos won on Raw. Maybe that's what I'm saying. Maybe Roman was mad that the Usos didn't put away Alpha Academy sooner. I don't know what happened, but and we got the match though. The match was really good. Sammy and KO and the Usos get ejected, and it's just a one-on-one match. It's really good stuff. Eventually, the Usos sneak back out too. They try to sneak out so the ref can't see them, but the ref catches them, and he doesn't really do anything about it. But Sammy and KO just brawl around with the Usos. Eventually, Solo Sikoa lays out Riddle with the Samoan Spike and wins. Afterwards, he beats up Matt Riddle some more. He tips the announce table onto him after hitting him with the I forget what he calls it, but it's like the Yoanagi, but there's something that he calls it. I forget what it is.
No, it's not the Proton Bomb. What the fuck it is?
But he tips the announce table on him. Sami Zayn, being a really good person, immediately tries to get the announce table off Matt Riddle, being a really good guy right there. I could talk about Solo Sikoa as being mean to Matt Riddle, but I don't care about Riddle all that much. This is what Riddle deserves for screwing up in his life. This is what he deserved, this beating right here. And this is Riddle's fault. He got involved in something he didn't need to get involved with. He could have just let this move on from the Solo Sikoa beatdown, do his own thing. But no, he had to get involved in something he didn't need to get involved in. So this is all Matt Riddle's fault right here. What did you think of this?
It is all of his fault.
If Matt Riddle had kept himself clean, he would have had to get written off for 6 months. So that beatdown that happened at Solo Sikoa, that's all Matt Riddle's fault, by the way. It's not Solo Sikoa's fault. Matt Riddle just kept himself clean. He wouldn't have gotten that beatdown to begin with. So Matt Riddle, that was all you. And you're trying to blame Solo Sikoa that you were written off for 6 months. That was all your fault, buddy. That was not Solo Sikoa's fault. Like, you're blaming Solo Sikoa for something that doesn't need to be blamed on. You should have kept your nose clean. And your mouth and everything like that, and this never would have happened. But nope, you just had to be a screw up, and Solo Sikoa had no choice. He had to write you off so that way you could go get clean. So Solo Sikoa did you a favor right there, and you're not being very you're not showing gratitude towards Solo Sikoa. And Solo Sikoa, guess what? He had to write you off again, probably, because you probably couldn't keep your nose clean again. So this is all Matt Riddle's fault right here. He's blaming Solo Sikoa for his own problems. You agree with me here? Do you think I'm...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's 100% fault.
Yeah. So, yeah. I thought SmackDown was great. I'm going to give it a B+. That extra B+ is going to Matt Riddle getting beaten down. I love that. That was great. SmackDown's a B+. Why are you giving it a B? Why not B+? Don't forget Madcap Moss got jobbed out, too. So.
Oh, yeah. That's a B+ then, because
there you go. I was able to talk...
Moss.
I was able to talk you into it. I think the only thing I really didn't like was LA Knight losing. That was the only thing I didn't like. But yeah, let's go over Level Up. I watched it today. It took place the same day as SmackDown. I have the date right on my Level Up notes, just not SmackDown. Hank Walker beat Cal Dixon. I didn't care about that. It was just a match that happened. Byron Saxton and Blake Howard did commentary, and they had Mr. Stone out there doing commentary with them, and he really ruined the commentary team because he was basically being a heel, and it wasn't very good. Electro Lopez and Lola Vice got interviewed. They talk about how they're looking forward to being a tag team. Lola Vice said that she's been watching and learning from Electro Lopez. I don't know what she's been learning about because there's not a lot to learn from Electro Lopez, but whatever. Travian Heights lost to Zion Quinn, and I didn't care about that match at all. And then we had Katana Chance and Kaden Carter beat Electro Lopez and Lola Vice in a tag match, and I didn't care about that tag match. So Level Up's D- because who cares about that show? And guess what? You can give it a D too because you didn't watch it. So D for did not watch by Chris Dodd right there. So
yeah, exactly.
That's the week of WWE. Let's break down some news things that happened. Because it was a very newsworthy week for the Big Dub. Let's talk about Drew McIntyre because there's some weird things going on with him right now. So he still hasn't re-signed his contract. He still hasn't shown up anywhere. And recently, as of last week, apparently he blacked out his Twitter, and he blacked out the fact that he was a WWE employee. So that's very weird right there. I don't know if that's just a big work and he's just going to come back as like a big heel and get upset, but I'm not sure what's going on with Drew McIntyre. It's really strange. I can understand why he's upset with his creative direction because he hasn't been the same. A lot of people say this is his Clash at the Castle match, but I think that's been longer that McIntyre hasn't been used because I think it's been since he lost the title in 2021. His career direction has not been the same. He'll get like a title opportunity every now and then, but I'm really not sure what's going on with Drew McIntyre. What do you think?
I don't think anything's going to come of this. I think he's going to turn heel.
Yeah.
And then resign anyway. So people keep saying, "Oh, you can't show up in Wembley for AEW. Drew Galloway's all a week." Guess what? That's not happening. So don't even get your hopes up.
Yeah, I think they'll convince him to resign. I think Drew McIntyre is going to resign. I don't know if he's going to. I could see him showing back up at the draft, maybe getting drafted to Raw. But I'm really not sure. I definitely think he's going to come back. I think they're just going to sit down and work out whatever it is they're going to work out. It'd be huge for AEW to get him, I guess. Because that's a name I could see AEW using well, because that's a big WWE name. They've used Bryan Danielson fairly well. They've used, I want to say Saraya very well, but I guess that hasn't really worked out, actually. So, the most recent one that we signed that was a big WWE name was Bryan Danielson. They probably would have used Adam Cole fairly well had his injury not happened.
For sure.
But they've used I think Drew Galloway would stand somewhat of a chance. I don't think he would be used as well at AEW as WWE, though. I know he says his creative hasn't been strong, but I don't think he would be like in the main title program in AEW really. He might be, but we've seen how AEW's used they don't really use the big guys all that well. Like Brian Cage and Lance Archer haven't been used all that well.
No, Brian Cage resigned for like 5 years, so he's an idiot.
Yeah. We've seen other people that have been like big guys, like Wardlow hasn't done all that well. They use Powerhouse Hobbs fairly well, but I feel like sometimes he's used well, sometimes he's not. Like that's why I would be worried about Drew McIntyre because while he has his name in the Indies, AEW doesn't have a very good track record with some of their bigger athletes that they bring in. So that's why I'd be worried about like Drew McIntyre. And you could say that he would have more creative freedom with his promos he cuts. He has that now anyways. His promos, even in the Vince era, were fairly unscripted anyways. So I don't understand. Yeah. I feel like too, like Triple H or if Vince took back, like I just don't see them. I do not see Drew McIntyre going anywhere. I'd be kind of worried about him working the AEW style a little bit too, just because he's also older too. I don't know if he'd want to work that style. So we'll see. Other big news that happened is King and Queen of the Wind has been changed. So obviously it's not happening anymore. It's now going to be called Night of Champions. I don't know if they're completely calling off the event or they're just holding off on doing it. I think there's been a big uproar about this. I'm really not that angry about it. I would have loved to see, obviously, King and Queen of the Wind like come back and stuff like that. That would have been like cool. But I really don't have a complaint that they're doing Night of Champions. One, I didn't really want it to happen in Saudi Arabia anyways. I feel like it'd be better not happening in Saudi. And the reason I could come up with is they want to have Roman Reigns on that show. And it makes more sense for it to be Night of Champions anyways, because that's the day he's going to hit 1,000 days if he retains his belt on that show. So it makes more sense anyways for it to be Night of Champions. So I feel like the King of the Wind would get overshadowed anyways by Roman Reigns reaching 1,000 days. So I would prefer King and Queen of the Wind happening at a different time. So I'm really not that angry about it. What do you think about the replacement?
I'm not mad about it either. It makes sense to do like King and Queen of the Ring, like in a place where people actually care.
Yeah.
Not like in Saudi where they didn't really care about it. So it's kind of I kind of like that the switch up here and go to Night of Champions instead. I like that.
Yeah, I don't mind it. They could do King and Queen of the Wind like maybe like later in the year, or they could just wait on it. I don't really care. No, in my life, they're just gonna do it. The Saudi event they do in November will be that show anyway. So that's my luck. But what else was big news wrestling wise?
Apparently tonight Becky Lynch isn't going to be on Raw.
I predicted that anyways, though.
and she blacked out her Twitter and
Okay.
changed her like name to her real name.
Okay.
And people were like, "Oh my god, she's upset. She's gonna quit. She's leaving."
I don't think so.
Not. Literally getting easily worked once again. Easily worked.
Yeah. There's been some news about Johnny Gargano. He reactivated his shoulder injury after Stand and Deliver, so I don't know when we're gonna see him again. I wasn't surprised when I read about that news because he was wrestling on Raw and NXT at the same time around that point. So I honestly am not surprised about it. So, and I think a cool thing I heard, I don't know if this is true or not, Vince was like really impressed with Johnny Gargano, and it was like Vince that wanted Johnny Gargano back, which is kind of weird to hear. So that's kind of cool.
He liked him.
Yeah, that's really weird. Like, I mean, I assume it was still a Triple H hire anyways, but it's kind of cool. Like, if they do make cuts, that is good that Johnny Gargano would be saved if he was, because that he wouldn't get cut. So. But yeah, what do you think about Johnny Gargano being injured again? It's sad.
It sucks. It really does suck, but that shit happens. It just sucks.
Rey Mysterio talked about on Logan Paul's podcast that he wants to do a mask versus hair match with his son. I imagine that match is going to happen. They're probably going to do that match, the last match of the feud. Maybe at Money in the Bank. I'd say SummerSlam, but Money in the Bank's a pretty big show because it's in the UK this year. So I could see it happening at SummerSlam. I don't think Ray would lose that match. I know they did the thing where Ray said he wants to pass the mask on to his son, but I feel like I think the reason I don't think Ray would lose that match is because Rey Mysterio I think would want to keep the mask anyways if he's retired because it's still something they can sell and all that type of stuff. But it makes sense that the whole storyline's been Dom embarrassed and Rey Mysterio. I think it makes sense for Dom to lose his hair and stuff. So the thing is, I don't think Ray's going to be done wrestling after this Dominic Mysterio feud. I think he has like another year or so. What do you think of that match potentially happening?
I like it. I'm very excited for it. I can't wait for it.
And then that's pretty much it news-wise. Let's do some predictions for stuff that's coming up tonight and this upcoming week. We have a loaded week, honestly, for WWE this week. They announce a lot of matches in advance and things like that. Tonight we're gonna get Brock Lesnar's gonna show up and respond to what Cody Rhodes had to say. I really hope that he can make sense of what he said of his attack on Cody and stuff like that. We'll have to wait and see. We have some more news that this could lead to something. But I'm excited to see Brock tonight. I hope they can make some sense out of his heel turn. But what do you think of this?
Yeah. I think Cody should come out, challenge him to a match, and then squash him in under 10 seconds.
That'd be funny. Other things that are going to happen is Trish Stratus is going to explain her heel turn. It's really tough to call like what she's going to say because I don't know what she could say.
It'll be formula.
It could be. It could be.
The fans turned against me.
Even though they didn't.
That's what they always say.
Yeah. We'll never know, though. She could say something cool. But we're also going to get Austin Theory versus Bobby Lashley. This match was supposed to happen last week, but there was travel issues on Austin Theory's side.
They could be travel issues again.
Huh?
Maybe they could be travel issues again.
They could be. I think Austin Theory is actually going to win this match via Bronson Reed interference. I think they're going to do what they were just going to do last week and just have Bronson Reed interfere. What do you think?
I think that Theory is going to win.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I don't know what they're going to do with Theory for right now because you would have thought that the Cena would elevate him, and it did, but now you don't really know what they're going to do with him. I think because every week his segment has changed because he's had his segment 2 weeks in a row change at the last minute. So that's why we don't really know what's going on with him. We're also going to get Seth freaking Rollins versus The Miz. I think Seth needs to win that. I think if he loses this, then he really is going to be unhappy with the state of his career. So I think Seth needs to win this match to kind of, I mean, I know he beat Logan Paul and everything like that, but Seth really needs this win.
Yeah, I agree. I think Seth's going to win.
Some predictions for NXT. Roxanne Perez is going to face Zoe Starks. That's an obvious win for Roxanne Perez. There's no way Zoe Starks is winning that match. Unless they do like some stupid thing where like her anxiety takes over and like it allows Zoe Starks to win, but that'd be really stupid. I could totally see Shawn Michaels booking that too now that I just said it.
Yeah, I think Roxanne's going to win, but I think something stupid's going to happen with anxiety and oh my god. No, so they haven't mentioned it since then.
Yeah, because it was dumb. Wesley is going to face Charlie Dempsey. I think Wesley will retain the championship, but I think Charlie Dempsey's going to... This will probably be the best match of the whole show. I think this is going to be awesome. What do you think?
I think Wesley's going to win, but it wouldn't surprise me either if Charlie Dempsey won.
Yeah, I like that.
This match is going to be great.
Then we have Gallus defending the NXT tag titles against the Grizzled Young Veterans and the Creed brothers. I think Gallus is retaining here. It seems like they don't want to do traditional 2-1-2 tag matches anymore. Every title match lately has been a triple threat or like a fatal 4-way. I don't know,
a multi-person match.
Yeah, so I'm starting to get sick of that. Like this is like the third one in a row. There's no reason for this to be a triple threat. They could have just done Diamond Mine versus Grizzled Young Veterans in a number one contenders match, but nope, they're doing a triple threat. So that's really stupid. I don't like that at all. Who do you think's winning the tag title match?
Gallus.
And I think Grizzled Young Veterans are taking the loss. I think this will be the last match we see Grizzled Young Veterans have. The only reason I could come up with why the release is denied is maybe Triple H was able to convince them to stay, and maybe they're going to get called up to the main roster. If that does happen, it should just be Grizzled Young Veterans get called up, and they go back to the Grizzled Young Veterans name. I imagine they would keep probably...
Or they get called up and they just schism.
Or they do this then... They get called up, and Zach Gibson's on one brand, and James Drake's on the other brand.
They both changed their names to Schism.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Schism 1 and Schism 2.
Carmelo Hayes is going to be on the Grayson Waller effect this week. I'm looking forward to that. I think that's going to be a really good segment there. I hope they don't go on Instagram Live because that would be really...
Instagram Live is like fucking 5 minutes ahead.
I know. So I could see something, but I'm looking forward to that. I think that's going to be exciting. I think that's going to be a really good segment, actually. I think Grayson Waller will lay him out this week. Because the title match isn't this week, right? It's next week.
Yeah, it's 2 weeks from.
So
it's 2 weeks from. Yeah, so it's not this week. It's next week.
What do you think? What do you think will happen in the Grayson Waller effect with?
I think that Carmelo Hayes is going to become a tag team with Grayson Waller. And they're going to do the will they, won't they, and then they break up, and then they have a match, and then Carmelo Hayes wins in a squash.
That's Shawn Michaels' favorite thing in the book. And then Noam Dar is going to return in action. I think he's just going to have like a squash match and just win. He might like last second put his Heritage Cup on the line, and he'll say that I win. What do you think?
I think that he's going to beat. Who's going to lose to whoever he is going to face, and the Heritage Cup is going to be on the line. He's going to lose it in the first defense. He's going to lose it to like Javier Bernal.
I feel like you're just trying to book how like Shawn Michaels would book. You're not even really logical about it. Like you say this stuff too. It sounds like a joke, but this is actually I think how Shawn Michaels would book this stuff to happen too. Like that's how bad this is. Like I got to put it.
Bad fucking person that's on that roster.
Yeah.
And that will be it.
We have some stuff on SmackDown announced. So NXT was we did some funny stuff with NXT. That's probably totally going to happen. We know one thing that's going to happen this week, and that there's going to be a worse segment than this week with the Kiana James, Brooks Jensen, Fallon Henley, Josh Briggs storyline. There's going to be a worse segment this week than last week. We know that's totally going to happen. That's not even a prediction. That's a spoiler, by the way.
It's a spoiler.
But because we're not Paul Heyman. I think the best segment was the week where we had to compare it to Vince's show. That's the best segment that's ever happened with it. So
Hell
let's
yeah.
we did some prediction. We have some predictions for SmackDown. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez are defending the women's tag team championships against Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green. I think Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez are totally retaining their championships. There's no reason for Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green to win them. I imagine they're just going to have Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez hold the titles for at least a while until like Ronda Rousey's fully healthy, and they may do them versus Ronda and Shayna for the tag belts. Because Shayna's also hurt right now too, so that's why they haven't really been shown back up again recently. But what do you think's happened in this women's tag title match right here?
Yeah, I think that Liv and Raquel are gonna win.
Yeah. We don't want that to happen. No matter what, Chelsea Green's not going to be happy no matter the outcome of this match, though.
Oh, fuck no.
And then we have Ricochet and Braun Strowman versus the Viking Raiders. Obviously, the Braun Strowman and Ricochet are looking for some wins after the Viking Raiders were very mean to them last week. I think Braun Strowman and Ricochet are getting the win because the Viking Raiders have gotten the better of them every time they face off. I think I don't think this will be the end of the feud. I think they'll do like another match, like a street fight at some point. But I think Braun Strowman and Ricochet are gonna win. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Braun and Ricochet are gonna win.
This needs to happen too, because the Viking Raiders have just been so mean recently. I don't know why they're being so mean to Ricochet and Braun Strowman. They didn't do anything to them. They're being so mean. Like
cruel.
And then we have Walter defending his Intercontinental Championship against Xavier Woods. I'm looking forward to this match. I think it's obvious Walter's retaining here, but I think Xavier Woods will put up like a really good performance. Like I think he'll get like a standing ovation like after the match is over. What do you think?
I think Gunther is gonna win because he's the fucking best.
Do you think Xavier Woods is getting
that.
Do you think Xavier Woods is getting a standing ovation, or do you think everyone's going to be sitting down with their hands on their laps afterwards?
They're going to be sitting on their hands the whole time. It's mandatory.
Yeah, we have an exciting week coming up on screen product wise for the WWE. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm so excited about it that I might come over to your house to watch it. Probably not though.
I wouldn't even try.
I walk there. I'll probably be there by now. So I'll be there right before the show. So I was being like, hey, like no. You'll be like, no, out of here. You'll try to be like what? You'll be like, nope. And you'll tell me to walk home, and I'll be like, but I walked over there here just so I could spend time with it to watch one. I'm like, nope. You'll be like, nope. You'll be like, get out of here. Go home.
I'll be like the old WWE commercial. Get the F out.
You'll be telling, and I have F in my last name. You'll be getting the F out. You'll be getting the F out. All right, like get the F. Get the
Owen Inch. Because I got the F out.
Replace it with the P, and it's Owen Pinch now. So. But yeah, what a weird week in wrestling. I feel like this week wasn't even weird. We just made it weird by talking about things that didn't even happen. We're just making stuff up that happened. But we're just joking around though. We don't actually believe this stuff happened. I hope there's no one that actually thought that we actually believe this stuff. But
you never know.
I know we never know. But yeah, what a week, what a show. I thought this was a fantastic show we just did right here. The best podcast in all of professional wrestling. I don't think Chris believes that. I think Chris believes we're the worst podcast in all of professional wrestling.
Fuck yeah.
And I think Chris wants to be the worst podcast in professional wrestling. He wants us to. I don't think we get like a trophy. I don't think you get a trophy for being the worst, but we should get something for being the worst. Like a shovel to the face, maybe, for being the worst. I like that. But I like that. But yeah, let's do some plugs and promotion. Is there anything you want to plug or promote?
I will say this. I'm going to plug and or promote this. Today is a big day for many reasons. Outside of wrestling and inside of wrestling. Outside of wrestling, the Boston Marathon was today. The Boston Red Sox play their annual 11 o'clock game today. They're getting destroyed in a fucking surprise there. Playoff hockey starts tonight. Playoff basketball has already started. And you have Monday Night Raw tonight.
Yeah. You have a big day today, Chris.
I will say this. Whatever you choose to fucking watch today, enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's all.
What are you choosing tonight?
Playoff hockey. Because I have other means of watching Monday Night Raw.
Are they legal means?
Yes. Through the Xfinity Stream app.
Well, what are you going to do if Cody comes on at the same time as hockey? What are you going to be watching then? Like, what would be paying more attention to? Would it be Cody?
I will
or will
rip
it be...
my body in half, and half of my body will be watching Cody, and half of my body will be watching playoff hockey.
What if Shawn Michaels comes on the screen tonight?
Then I'm turning it off.
Because he'll break up a tag team. So
he will break it down.
He will. As for my stuff, you could obviously check out this channel. And now we have a new soon have a new ish channel up. It's now the FTW main hub, which used to be the CM Brothers channel, which obviously changed the name because just go watch the channel update video and you'll find out why. I'm not going to tell you here. You got to watch that video for that. If you want me to tell you here, then there's no point of you watching that video. So go watch that video right now.
Well, not right now because they're watching this.
Go watch it in like 2 seconds when we wrap this up. Owen the Talkinator is coming back pretty soon, probably like 4 weeks, and then this Retro's coming back this week. The end of the week, Chris, James, and I will be doing some draft retros to hype myself up to want to watch the draft. Which would be exciting. We've never really reviewed like a draft episode before. We have a couple times, but not like retro wise, so that will be fun. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. And we will talk to you guys later.
Podcast has concluded. Be sure to check out more group discussion as far as WWE content is concerned, and check out more content from For the Win Productions.